Let's say you've just spent $2,000 on a hardtail. It's your first true mountain bike hardtail. It's a lot of money for your first bike, right? So you're excited. You're like over the moon. Like, I can't believe I have this. What I see is just like almost like they go through the motions. You go in, they show you the bikes that you're interested in. They can make a couple of recommendations, and in some cases, they don't make any recommendations at all. It's just you go in, oh, I like this. Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good bike. Yep. Oh, let's get on it. Throw a leg over it, and then next thing you know, you're walking out the door with it. But really, have you done your research too as a consumer? That's very important. Do your research. And also, have they helped you with your decision-making process? Like, to me, the engagement should be like questions like, oh, where do you ride, or what do you ride mostly, and what do you plan on riding? Let's get you on a frame platform that's upgradable for the future. And bike shops can be very intimidating places. They can be very degrading places depending on what shop you go to. And I find the attitudes of bike shop employees can be hit or miss. And it's all about this ego thing, I wish bike shops employees would check their egos at the door and focus on their customers. They're the people that walk through the doors that are gonna potentially buy a $2,000 bike, The focus should be on that and not ego, and helping the person get what they need. To me, it only makes sense. Treat your customers like gold. They'll come back to you every time. The bike shop should want to build community. It should want to get you stoked to ride your new bike. It should have employees that ride mountain bikes. To me, it should be like a stoke level. You just bought what trails are you going to check out? Engage with the customer a little bit more, And then the other thing too is it's about this ego thing. To tell you a little quick story, I walked into a bike shop one day. I wanted to upgrade my MT 201 2-piston brakes. And I wanted to put Dior 6120s on to 4-piston. That was on my truck Roscoe 6. And the mechanic was one of 3 people working in the shop that day. And he came out and he said, well, what do you want those for? Those are garbage brakes. And I said, well, what brakes would you recommend? He said, well, what bike is it going on? I said, Roscoe. He said, oh, so garbage brakes on a garbage bike. I'm like, what? In my mind, I said, what? I didn't actually say that because I know quite a bit about bikes. I wanted to see where this conversation was going to go, this seemingly one-sided conversation. So, he was saying stuff about how he rode here and rode there, in his younger years, and he was a really good rider, like such a good rider, and he always rode downhill and enduro bikes. And he only recommends Saints for brakes. So I said, okay, so wait, you want me to put Saint on Trek Roscoe 6? He says, yeah, if you want good stopping power. He says, but you should definitely upgrade your bike. I said, oh, well, okay, so then out of all the bikes here on your floor, what would you recommend? He said, none. Like right away, he said none. And I said, really? You would recommend none of these bikes on the floor? He says, nope. He says, definitely custom build. Custom build is the only way to go. Custom building your bike is more expensive. And he said, well, this is a sport. You got to pay to play. You got to pay to play. You get what you pay for in this sport. And I said, oh. Okay. He says, do you want me to order those brakes for you? And I said, no, definitely not. And then I left. And I just like, I was like mind blown. Like, how could you talk to a customer like that? He could have just said, yeah, I can order those brakes for you. And he said, where do you ride? What are you riding? And he could have done it so much differently, but no, the ego was there. The ego was the underlying thing there, which puts me off, which would put anyone off, I would suspect, you know. This elitist attitude has got to go, people. If you own a bike shop and you're watching this, it's got to go. The elitist attitude and the ego has to be checked at the door. It just has to be. You're not there in the shop to present your ego to the world. Nobody really cares. All they care about is they've got money in their pocket, they've got an idea in their head for a component they want to buy that's going to work well on their bike, or a bike they want to buy that's going to work well for them in their progression point. They don't care about your ego. They're just going to end up walking out and they're going to tell 20 people never to go to your shop again. So I don't understand. It's very intimidating, and my advice to you is go to every shop before you even take money with you. Before you even take that idea that I'm going to buy a new bike or a part, go to every shop in your region within a 25-kilometer radius. That sounds extreme, but it's not. You want to go in that shop and feel out the vibe. And then once you find a shop that has a good vibe, a good stoke level, people that ride, people that understand what you're looking for and what you need and what you want, that's the shop you go to.